I'm in Photoshop today and I'm going to show you how to separate out an image from your background. So here's what you're going to do. Start with the background layer, make a copy of that layer, make this one invisible. Go to the one that's the layer that's the background copy and make a layer mask. There it is. Now, you want to make sure when you're doing this that you're sampling from the actual image. So you're going to click on the image itself, come on over here and get the quick selection tool. Now this tool will start with a little plus unless you tell it otherwise, and up here you can change that to a negative by clicking on that. See if there's a minus, but I want the plus, so I'm going to do that. And I'm going to come in here and just hover over. I can change the size of my brush depending on what I'm doing. So if I want to grab a large area, obviously I can do that very quickly. You can see that what this tool does, and it's pretty amazing, is it finds edges. The only downside to it, as you can see, is that sometimes it gets a little confused. So sometimes you have to go a little smaller and you have to tell it, I want to change this. So first of all, this is a hard way to do it. If I click here, now I have a minus instead of a positive. Okay, so I clicked up here to get a negative. And I click here, see how that went back and grabbed that shoe again. The easier way to do this is if you hit the, let me go back to the plus again. If I hit the option tool, and hold that down, I get the minus. So I prefer that because I don't have to worry about coming up here. It just saves me time. But I'm going to click on this and all right, I'm not quite done, but I just want to show you what I have so far. Clearly he is not completely isolated, but that's pretty good for now. So I'm going to come in here to the layer mask and I want to tell my computer, you know, I just don't want to see all that stuff. So I'm going to grab big brush, make sure it's black, and I'm just painting, and I've isolated out a good portion of the background already. I can deselect. I can come back over here and say, you know what, I need to finish this up. So again, come over here. I'm working once again on the layer, and I'm going to come in and grab the rest of this. Again, look for stuff like this. Pay attention to what's happening there. Isolate that out, right? And then again, coming over here, and you know, I would recommend doing a little bit at a time, so you can always just check and see how things are going for you. But you can see that pretty quickly. I'm almost done here. I've isolated out a good portion of my figure and made it quite invisible. So that was super quick. And there's harder ways to do this, as I'm sure you're well aware by now. And then there's easier ways like this. So if you're trying to isolate out a figure, this tool is great. And the wonderful thing about this is sometimes I'll notice when I come in, like look at his hand. See that? See how that's gone? If I just erase that, that would be gone. But because I have it in my quick mask layer, this is not a big deal. I just click back on my white, get a brush, make sure that brush is a smaller size. I don't know why I can't see my brush size now. Oh, because it's so big. Let me shrink this down with my bracket tools and bring that back. And so it's very forgiving because if you accidentally take something out that you didn't want to, you can bring that back in relatively quickly. But I think this is doing a pretty good job taking out different areas. See, look there, same problem. But because it's a masking tool and I'm not just deleting it, the image is not gone forever unless I tell it to be gone forever. So it's just a matter of toggling back and forth between these and grabbing this. Oh, you know what? I didn't even have to go back to the image. I just did that. That's pretty cool. Cool. And then I can, oopsie, edit undo. I can just quickly toggle back and forth with the brushes and continue to take out details.